it just has game number 3 on the day. Now, the little different plane path, everyone were down south earlier because of that plane that came from the islands down towards Val del Mar. And this time around, teams will opt to go more north. But Balas is really the only one saying, you know what, I'll go out early. His team, though, in the end, does realize they'll come with him. And now, as we talked about before, the whole El Pozo scenario with 2 teams driving up here, actually it seems like 2 teams will be flying over here. I mean, they have 3 teams, potentially, if an Abachi splits all the way over.
Let's see where it ends up going. Riddle looking to go once again over to their same position. No difference is changing up there. Well, Zokik Nam swap things around there. That's the one I'm interested to see.
Now making their way down south. They have plenty. I mean, that's kind of one of the things, right? When you put yourself on the edge, you know you'll have some room to rotate. Whereas, if you're in the center, you'll be more of a, well, I have to figure out where everyone around me will go here. So now I'm going down south. There will be, okay, there's no one rotating behind us. We know that. So we only really have 180 degrees to worry about, where all the other teams kind of have to worry about all the directions around them. You see Gamers Legion sitting in the middle in Bicado. They have teams literally all around them.
Now, 3D Max, right, that's going to be the interesting one because they're starting off in the same place again. They hard rotated down towards the south, and that's not even going to be needed this time because that circle is pretty much smack bang in the middle for them. But it's also quite looking good for the team of Seek Org.
Oh, can't wait to see it.
Eric.
I can tell you guys, for those who don't know, after the update to the parachutes, because I'm 99% sure that's what happened, before they updated the parachuting system, if you hit something, you just majestically slide down the wall and land. Now, as soon as you hit whatever it is, the parachute, boom, gone it is. You get ejected, and then down you fall. So if you hit the edge of a building, a light pole, anything that was far enough up for him to take a leap of death, that's indeed what happened. Fortunately, he just landed on his knees, and now hopefully he'll be rested. But as you can see right there, most likely not going to happen.
Oh dear. Nice and free kill there for him.
How did...
What?
I'm just thinking there's not that far down from the top of the arena. In any case, Ferex gets himself the first kill. I guess that's a bit of a compensation. There's a knock player here. You didn't even have to knock him. Go over and finish him. That's the sort of the gift you get for winning last game and then not have it count. So Seagorg, very glad to see themselves with the first kill of the game.
Yep. Oh, wow. Okay, we are going back to us just for a real quick bit once again. We're having a couple of other issues now when it comes down to it. We'll find out exactly what's going on there.
Electricity.
Question is, do we... well, we've got electricity because there's lights.
Technology, and that's what I'm saying. That's I mean, when you have electricity and technology, things can go wrong. That's just how it is.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say, we didn't lose electricity because we're lit up, we're still here.
Yeah, we're pretty.
I was about to say, you're definitely losing your mind at that point, if that's where we were going with it. I guess what we'll do is go to a break once again. So, yeah, break time. We'll be back very soon. Can only apologise, guys. Thank you for sticking with us. We will try and get things sorted as quick as possible.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up, babe. Tonight we gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now. What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head,
gon' burn it down. Burn it down. We gon' burn it down. Burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
Game 3 for the third time, and we'll be moving forward to see if it's going to go down the way we expect it to go down, or it'll be a complete change on what we've seen already. We did get an Eastern Circle. We did get a Western Circle. So do we now get a Central Circle?
One could think, but then again...
You never know.
Do you get a bigger chance of rolling a 6 if you roll 3 times?
No.
Exactly.
RNG
So we
is a
don't
real
know
thing.
where it's going to go. It resets
RNG is a
every
real
game.
thing.
Indeed it is. So, no, with that, little parachute practice. We saw Cam, he got knocked when he landed there. Fortunately,
He's gonna be
he was
very
the only
happy.
he was the only guy to die before we remade, so he got a chance to play again. Second time Seagawk gets kills where they get taken away from them. But of course, let's focus on the positives, and that is the fact that we get to bring you all the action. Hopefully, we watch it to the very end, because we have had, even though the first game was remade, there was a ton of things to take away from it.
Well, you said it right. Well, he said it off camera, but he said third time's a charm. So that's what I'm hoping for, right? We can just get into this, see it all go down, watch a good Miramar game, and if anything, watch the chaos unfold once more. Because at this point, if you're one of their teams, you go, "Look, I've seen you drop here over and over again.
Yeah.
Let's go for one of these crazy hot drops."
That's what I was thinking, because first game, we had 2 teams driving up. I mean, the plane didn't allow for them to fly to El Poso.
Yeah.
They drove there instead. Second game, they could fly there. They both go immediately, boom, fights. You saw both these guys that landed in the arena. Now, do you really want to go there a third time? I mean, we're talking Miramar with 16 teams. There's so much room on this map to go to. Go loot somewhere else. There's no reason. I know you're stubborn. I know you want to do these things. But with the loot settings and everything, no reason whatsoever to contest a city of all things that's on the edge of the map this early on. I mean, it's just there's absolutely no reason to do that.
It's just like, okay, I'm going to stand here until you go away. We're the bigger team. We're the better team. I've got the bigger ego.
My dad is stronger than your dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the kind of waiting out and saying, nope, I want this more than you.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It seems like nobody's going to oppose it this time. That could also be the thing. Right now, they both go, well, I'm not going to contest them. I'll go to Impact. Oh, wait, now we're both here again? Are you kidding me? Imagine how fun that could be if they were both going the same place, just somewhere else.
So the vehicles have come into play straight away, so they're going to just drive there and try and outrun them.
Yeah, we'll see now as everybody gets landed in 10 seconds. Okay, where are we going? You said center? Prediction, go.
Yeah, go for the center.
Center. That center circle, I want to go south. The game is going to end on the southern island, because that's not going to happen. I've had it happen before. We could be happy to see it, and it's not going to happen.
Ooh.
Instead, indeed, first east, then west. Indeed, now we go north. Maybe south will come in on the next game. We'll have to wait and see. But north, for sure, is where we're going, and we talked about this before. Look at the south. Look, Picado down to Los Leones, how many teams you had down there. These teams cannot all rotate up the middle. You want to rotate wide out on the edges, come in from the top side. But teams could even rotate all the way up north and over the area of the Oasis. And for Seagawk, having been sort of tripped up twice now, they will indeed have a third time to play this game in number 3. Because as we know, third time's the charm. So let's get ourselves a good game here, shall we?
Oh, yes, indeed. Hopefully everything is going well and all correct now as we move into the actual parts of this game and see who is going to come out on top once again. Now, the good thing about this for Seagawk is it's benefited them a second time, right? They've got themselves in the circle. They've got a lot of ground to cover with here. Riddle's also within it at the moment. Zen at the same time. So some of our real big teams, the big names here, have got a good position straight off the bat, benefited from this northern circle.
Very much so. We have 4 teams down in the area of Los Leones. You see right now out to our far eastern Impala. Not fair. Well, they have a pretty decent chance to rotate up. So I guess it's somewhat fair for them to have this sort of circle. Sogdetnam on the northeastern side as well. Nobody was up there earlier. Sogdetnam saying, well, we'll go south when the plays force us to. We'll go north when the plays force us to. And that's just the thing, right? We talked about how before they want to have a 180 instead of a 360.
Yeah.
So just kind of focus on, Cass gonna catch off Waggo. 2 guys on a buggy. It's always dangerous. This seems like they did manage to get their way into safety, though.
It's always that scary point, right?
Ooh.
2 on there, one of them getting picked off. Easily can happen, but they managed to avoid it thus far.
I mean, even if the buggy flips, you kill your teammate, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, there are many ways it can go on when you're driving a buggy. That's for sure.
Now, Fenerbahce, right? A team that we were looking at and thinking, okay, what can they get done here? How are they going to perform? And thus far, they've had a couple of kills in there. Not too many late game plays.
They had a good
time
game
for them
too.
to shine.
They had a good
Top
game
8?
too. Yeah. I think they finished in 5th place when they had to drive like up towards the the YOLO vehicle move from the west side of Pachinki. In any case, they are a team that we've seen play. They played well together in that game. They had very little cover to work with, and they made it work. You need to get so much info across when you're in the open, because not only do you have to shoot at people, but there will also more often than not be a lot of people shooting back at you that you might not be in a position to really do anything against. Phantom now, though, as his teammates were taking fire earlier, they indeed are the ones to deliver the damage themselves here. Ooh, Arsenally, I believe that's around 1 HP for you right there. Lives with the scare in the minivan.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage coming his way. 3D Max looking to try and take him down, and he is going to be able to try and heal up now. He's just out in the open, though, and there could be another team that could just at any point take a shot at him. Risk it, why not? Never know.
Yeah.
Might be able to get away with it. He's going to go back towards the safety of his team, though.
Yep, seems like Yellow Submarine. You cannot help but sing that to yourself when you say the name, right? And the boys from Ghost Legion, they've got a bit of a rotation to make as well. And the question for them is going to be, when are we going to go? Because as we can see on the map right now, also for you guys who wants to watch the map as well, if you have 2 monitors, that's a great way to do it. You can put that on up, just add the _map to the Twitch, I believe it is. And
it's
then you'll be
beneficial.
able to... It's really... I mean, I like to do this when I watch games myself, because one thing is what you see with the observers, and these observers are amazing. Nothing with that. It's just you can only watch so many fights at one time,
It
right?
basically gives you a feel, right, for what's going on around the rest of the game. You can see what could potentially happen and give you a better understanding, right? We love it and use it here as commentators when we're looking at it all. And this is how I think is the best way to really watch and enjoy PUBG. So make sure if you can, got 2 monitors, got an option, get a phone out, get a tablet out, watch it on both, watch the map, and then listen to our beautiful voices as we bring you the action going on your screen. You catch some of the kills, and could there be a potential another kill here? Zinsan's going to get himself away. Riddler coming out in the open, though. They do need to be very cautious here, because Trash is now chasing his car. Trash was like, oh, I'm just going to get out, I'm going to take some shots, I'm going to try and make it work, but it doesn't happen. He ends up actually getting in a position where you've got to sit there and go, I probably should give this car up now. Trash still trying to take multiple shots here, but he's not able to make the shots connect, and he doesn't want to get too over-aggressive here, because he is pretty much out in the open now with no vehicle to run away with.
The story of the woman that reported her car stolen after she went shopping for 5 minutes realizes she just forgot to pull the handbrakes on the hill.
I had a friend of mine who actually forgot that he drove his car to the shop, walked home with his shopping, and then reported it stolen. Yep.
Did he forget that he drove there?
Yep. It happens. It's a real thing. And in PUBG, sometimes your car just rolls away when you don't want it to.
Yeah, I guess it does. Pull those handbrakes, guys. Press space 10 extra times just to make sure, because as we saw right there, that is a vehicle you don't want to lose. Now, fortunately, they were somewhat in a good position, but I mean, you had already been shooting, right? So you have to run off of their MK14 and 8X. If there's a map you want to get this on, that is Miramar. We saw a lot of people shoot early in the game previously. For sure, the pickup of this one will allow for them to do that as well.
Get a bit of the 8 times in there, see what you can make happen as we're going to watch everyone start to rotate in here, but they're walking straight into Tornado potentially. Kamka went down early on last time around, and oh, look, X Team, he's going to take, are you serious? Is this really happening? Nice and easy one. Bullen goes down. He's not going to be happy with that whatsoever, and he'll get finished off. Kamka able to do the damage and make up for what happened in that previous game.
Exactly. From going out as the first guy to getting the first kill, I guess that's a pretty good trade-off. Circle is coming, closing on in. As we can see right there, Tornado, they're sitting dead center, at least in the current circle. But of course, we know PUBG, it likes to shift elsewhere from this center. Inside Games there on their rotation on as well. They are making their way on up. They have quite a ways to go. but they should indeed get there eventually. That being, of course, if Pixel does not flip his vehicle upside down, which he did.
It can happen. You hate to see it.
You hate to see it, but it happens. We can put it this way. You're somewhat excused. I mean, you're pretty much never excused when you flip a vehicle on a Wrangle, but you're somewhat
this is rocky
excused when you
terrain.
flip it on Miramar.
Yeah, this is rocky terrain. It's a rough thing to deal with. And admittedly, it may be not a map that all the teams play as consistently as a Wrangle on the most regular basis.
Yeah.
Now, team not fair, right? That's a team at the moment where it hasn't been fair to them. They found themselves in quite a few positions which don't work out for them, but they're actually going to be able to come in from the eastern side. And at the moment, they could be able to take down and have control of Cruz de Vel.
Yeah, they could set themselves up. There's a good sort of ridge line on the western side of the city where they can overlook the entire center of the circle to see them. And that's the thing. I talked with Ivel about this actually from Sok Vietnam a few weeks back, how in Circle 1 you really want to get greedy, especially as an in-game leader. You want to send your dogs out, get all the info you can, really figure out where are people, where can we smell the blood, where can we see the people has been before, to figure out how we can rotate on forward. Because the further center you put yourself early on, the bigger the chances of you getting into a good spot. But seems like on the map at least, Riddle and Sok Vietnam has the same plan. And Aki falling down a hill, and that's not good because they're in the eastern side of the circle. Now this fight is going to be for ground that's not going to be worth any of their time.
Yeah, that's not ideal at all. Look at where this circle has started to benefit straight away. Aki has no hope.
He is very far away.
Yeah, that's quite a distance to go. And also, luckily, there's no other teams around there, right, to take advantage. No one's going to go back out and push into that to finish him off. But you just hate to see little things like that. You put your team at a massive disadvantage. You also, if they did want to go back and try and res him for a vehicle, the problem he's really going to have there is that you're just going to have a position...
Guys. This is the third flip in one circle rotation. I mean, I'm sorry for cutting you off there, James. It's just, you hate to see it. You know how important these vehicles are.
They're actually going to go try and res him as well. So we'll see if Ivel is actually able to do it. It may come into play. It was all down to timing, but what it's done is delayed them from taking any control in this center circle. And I think that's the big issue here, is little mistakes like that cost you either a player or they cost you a lot of room. And especially when we've got a circle like this, that's not what you want to see.
Exactly. They had the chance to disengage the fight from Riddle. Riddle actually did that themselves, and look at how well of a position they've put themselves in as compared to Sok Vietnam. Now, even though they're rotating up, they have plenty of people coming their way, but it's going to be Ghost Legion taking one guy down, or actually losing one guy early on here. YMD is in all sorts of trouble because 7, they're looking hungry and they want to get in the action.
Yeah, 7 once again going in aggressive. And that's what they like to do, right? Try and get these early kills. And they have been getting kills across the board. Nice headshot coming out there. He's looking to try and do some more as well. Pops the energy drink, getting it himself nice and charged up. Ready to see if he can push into this. YMD just gets back up. Nade comes out, lands directly on him, and Buster says, this time, no one's saving you. I'm going to finish you off. Yellow Submarine and Trejo now need to back away, but they've got to be cautious because you cannot allow yourself to be picked apart now by 7, who look at the spread of them. They're in such a nice spot here to be able to do some extra damage. Even Trejo isn't fully safe as Crab starts shooting into him.
See all the shots fired there. Unfortunately for him, not connected as many as needed. Trejo will live at least for a little while longer, but... what? What? Oh, he's in the blue. I was like, wait, what just happened? But he's in the blue. That makes sense. He was trying to get the meds off. Did not work out in his favor. And now with this circle pushing on in, once it connects, we are getting that hole. The further away you are from the actual circle, the more damage it takes. So even though we're in the early game, they are going to start hurting quite a bit more.
Lucky had his teammate there as well. I was very much under the same impression as you, thinking, wait a second, this circle's not doing that much damage. How have you allowed that to happen?
Exactly. So they're not rotating far up north, but right now it's going to be Personal Courage. They have kind of found their neighbors just down the road in Gamers Legion. And for now, at least, I mean, 2 of the most center teams in the entire server. They can take these shots at each other. They're never going to push each other, at least not for right now. There would be absolutely no reason to, unless, of course, if Personal Courage know for a fact that it's a 2-2 split. They're sitting 2 guys on each side of the road, and if they get a knock and the circle goes down there, it might be considerable.
Now, one thing I'll say about that team is Personal Courage. They got a dope logo. I love little enemy creations like that. I'm always down for things like that. Northern Lights, though, we've been speaking about them a fair bit. They're a team that have lit up those kill feeds. They've been able to get a fair bit done, both on the Erangel games. Question is, can they get it here and now on Miramars once again? Look at this circle. Massive benefit here for Seek Org. Could be looking at another crazy game for those guys if they can keep it going, if they can keep it steady. And look at all the teams, they start to swarm and reposition to the center area.
As far out of the circle as you can be, way up north is Fenerbahce, and they're thinking, we're driving so far north, there's going to be no one up here, but look at who is waiting right around the corner. Shaxi is probably turned off the sound in-game, listening to music, chilling, having a good road trip time, but look at this Aggie, not only is he driving right by him, he's also going down to approximately 0 kilometers an hour, and it's a bloodbath. Coming in, just one player remaining. BSD all by himself. Ocalento is actually in there as well, trying to make that run uphill in a buggy. No HP to work with. Aggie, reload your weapon. Don't go for the hero shots. Get that guy finished off. It's the points that you need. And in the end, it's going to be Ivel to get the finish off. Wow, what an unfortunate set of circumstances for the boys from Fenerbahce.
Aki there, right, taking those shots.
Greedy.
I'm just going to say, if you reloaded, you would have had that extra kill point. Now, it's only 1 point, yes, but you need everything you can. With a kill point heavy game like this, you should have never let that slip away. You guys had the roadblock. You had them surrounded. You knew what was going on. Great teamwork, great play, but that was a little error.
Yeah, should never be too... it's good for YouTube, show reels, frag reels, and all that, but when you're in a tournament where everything's on the line and you have many games, but I mean... Even though we say there are so many games, more often than not, it comes down to those 2 points, those 3 points. They will be the difference maker for some of these teams in the end of the tournament. So believe me, by not getting those kills, it could accumulate if you keep doing it that way.
But Zoket Nam, they are looking to have success regardless of how the circle works out for them. Not a bad position for them to try and work from there. Good effort on what they were trying to do in getting the little roadblock on go. And now they're going to maneuver their way around. They don't want to approach fully directly from the north. They're going to make their way over towards the west first and then push in. And this will give them a good amount of coverage as well. They still have to be very careful of Seek Org, who have got themselves in a great position on top of the mountain, right? Which means they can pretty much see down and rain in on any teams around them. Riddle are close by as well, but they're already engaging in a couple of teams. 3D Max also, their position's quite nice.
Yes, there goes Legion taking long range shots downhill towards Not Fair, but shots are coming in return, and this is what we constantly talk about. Don't start shooting before you are into a position where you can grant yourself cover. Fortunately, at least for now, ooh, there's an arm, there's a head, there's a backpack. BCG tries to pop him off, but just not able to connect the shot. Stands up now, once pushing up the hill. It's a hard push for them. Fortunately, they are the team furthest out and not expecting anyone to be behind them so they can focus on what's inside. But as you can see, it's open and it's a tricky push to make.
Well, that yellow submarine's got some good penetrable armor there. He's using good coverage, able to hold on. BCG couldn't get the shots, couldn't make it work, and now Not Fair are under pressure. They've got a high ground advantage here from the Ghost Legion team. Can they get the kills though? That's the next thing.
Have to wait and see. Riddle trying to make their run in as well, and we can see this area of the map, it's so diverse in terrain. Ups and downs are so far apart. The roads are normally, and especially in this map, in this specific area of the map, are very much the down point. The valleys is where you see all the roads, and then everything else where you see teams. So that's why you barely see anyone close to the roads, because it's chaos and it's impossible to play from there unless if you have a compound. So for Not Fair, having to make this run uphill is going to be tricky because the circle is closing in just about 20 seconds.
Enzo biding his time before making the shot, wanting to make sure he had a clear position to make it work for him. Trejo just throwing out the nades. As we see Not Fair trying to work up, and the good thing is they're gaining ground upwards, which means they're able to try and potentially take this fight, but they don't want to get third party by 7 who are getting involved, and this is not looking good. 7 are there ready and waiting. They push up into it, but Not Fair, they're ready to bring the pain. Good shots coming in, but it's a little bit back and forth. Genzu chiming in as well, comes a little bit late to the party, looking to come round the side, takes further hits, and Not Fair, they weren't able to get it done. They put up an absolutely phenomenal resistance, and now look, Ghost Legion are saying, okay, we can smell the blood, we are hungry. 7, we're about to come and try finish you off. Can they get it done? Alpha getting a few shots off, can't make it connect, but he's looking to get the finishes onto some of the players that are already not. Can they finish it off? LD's taken damage, and 7, they risked it for a chocolate biscuit and it didn't pay off.
Great reaction from Ghost Legion as well. They had disengaged, they made it out alive, they made that run back up the hill, but as soon as that fight started commencing further down, they said, you know what, that's 3 points for us. They got them, and they secured the finish off as well. 60, Cass taken down, as well as Oztec Warriors, trying to see if they can do some damage. Indeed they can. Just on the edge of the circle now is going to be Arsenal. He's all by himself.
Sorry about the coughing and spluttering, and I'm literally just dying mid-cast at the end of that.
Don't die. We wouldn't want to have that. Only in-game. H saying, I will do that, at least for now. There you go. Down he goes. So good now trying to stay put there up against the team team that beat them in the game that will be remade just a few moments ago.
No.
And now Eggy is trying to see if he can do something here. Could it be twice in a row now that Seagull takes out Sukdetnam?
Barlos looking to land an incredible shot if he can. Vasco throws up the nade, Barlos backs away, no problem at all. Pops the energy drink as well. And this is where Seakorg are looking to end Zokiknam's chances here. They're looking to apply the pressure and make sure that, hey, we don't want to face you at the end circle again. We're going to face you here and now. We're going to prove not once, but twice we're the better team.
And this is how we talk about, especially on Miramar, that you can get pinned in compounds. It's great for you if you have the cover, if you get the circles, but if this next circle shifts away, look at Seakorg's position. They're so perfectly split out, and in the meantime, they also look at Furrex. He's pushing in, he's looking in. Yeah. You cannot sit around here for too long. You need to be aware of third party.
And he's the one as well, right, that they continue. They either use him to push forward or you use him to scout ahead. They've got confidence in Furrex and what he can do, and they've also got confidence that they can win this duel just playing it as a 2v2. Yeah. Seakorg are really starting to shine for me. I am just impressed with what we've seen, and it's only day one. It's only map 3.
Very, very impressive team that is for sure. They have been for a while. And now, of course, as you said yourself, I mean, if there's a team to pick up, well, I mean, they have it in their name, so might as well see if you can get yourself some good representation in the game that is PUBG. But now up in the high top of things, people running forward. Look at Noki all by himself in between two teams in full 4v4 fight, and he's just sitting in there going, please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me.
Now this circle's just popped. Seakorg can grab those compounds just to the north. There's not many compounds left already. We see 3 different areas. And actually, this is a very interesting position because this reminds me very much of what we saw from one of the Miramar games that we actually saw for Group A. Pretty much the same.
Game Legion circle, 5 vehicle rotations. They're always dangerous mailmen. To get some Walker, that's not even this fight, so why do I care about that? Hamster has been forced out of his vehicle, so it seems like Game Legion will be forced to make that rotation on forward with just 3 alive. Inside Games, in the meantime, taking a fight with Tornado Energy. Will get down 1 player, but in the end, it's going to be Hamster down and out comes Sukdetnam. Not sure exactly how Ness and Ballas is now for them to leave the compound.
Yeah, this is a bit interesting there. Seakorg are thinking, okay, we'll let you move away with this. There's Northern Lights again. They're still on your kill feed. They're still able to try and fight within all of this. Personal courage now, trying to make it work. No one is aware of Noki's position here. He's literally just right in the crater, just hanging, saying, okay, someone walk past me and I will kill you. Names are going up and down around him. Obviously, Jamboree, he's going to be able to get some damage done here and finish off one of the other Northern Light players.
All the info coming in from Noki. He has teammates in the compound underneath. He did not get the finish off. Had to reload, was taken down in the process. Noki does go down now. Unfortunately, too many players around him. Couldn't really figure what to shoot on. Bro tries to make the hill a little smaller by shooting into it. Not sure if that was what he was aiming for. I highly doubt it, as a matter of fact. But shots are fired now over towards Kofest and Personal Courage.
Good sprays coming out there. Noki, he hid as long as he could, but he was eventually found. The moment he poked his head, the moment it was ripped clean off. As once again, Seakorg, more damage, more kills. Sunzi, this man is on fire and he is unrelenting in this aggression, in this performance. He's just hitting all the shots. Barlos, not an ideal position for him, but he can be kind of picked back up and looked after. They just got to deal with Riddle.
See here, Wacko trying to hold all these people off by himself. Phantom is not in a good position, but Nate is coming into play. Gets himself a double knock, doesn't get the finish offs off of it, but he does manage to secure himself some more space. Phantom, great Nate thrown right there to help out his teammate.
Zokiknam managed to get themselves into the circle. Not a bad position as Riddle are eliminated. Seakorg, kill after kill. Sunzi is up there. This team is saying it wasn't a fluke the first win we get. We're going to go and look for another one. And it is going to happen here on Miramar in match 3. That is our dream and we want to make it happen as Barlos. He may have gone down, but he's going to be picked up. No problem at all. Their position is good and there's still a compound that they can try and take.
Riddle trying to push in from the north, and there was just no room for them at all. Nades came flying in immediately, and a lot of kills coming in the way of Seakorg. And as you said yourself, they're just saying, it doesn't matter how many times you have to play this match, we're going to win it, no matter what. At least that's what they want. But now for Game of Legion, benefiting themselves with the compound, and for some reason, I don't know why, but Sukdetnam's inside of this one.
They managed to get away with it, and hell, why not? Let's see if they can make it work. The problem is that Seakorg is going to have, there's only 2 players left alive, which is less than ideal. They're in a really strong spot, but they were taking so many fights. I'd love to see how many kills they've got at the moment as well. Now we're going to spill onto him as he's being pushed away. Tornado Energy right under fire, and they will be eliminated by Inside Games.
See, inside, they never peeked on over until they knew they had the angle, but then Wolf finds to be fought. Trail gets a double knock in there. Damage coming in his way as well, but Sampeak, all by himself. He has Ultra on the backside of the compound, but he needs him around. He needs him to be useful in order to help him really do anything. You see in the meantime on the middle screen or bottom screen down there on the side, the Personal Courage is making their push on up towards the boys from Gamer Legion, but right now it's Treo, it's Ghost Legion trying to hold off the push from Inside Games.
Yeah, this is really nice from Trejo. He sees what's going on, jumps into it, looks to do the damage, but 3D Max, as the fight comes into them, Wago had been holding on with Phantom for so long, and they still were able to get it done. Incredible from 3D Max, who found themselves heavily under pressure from two sides.
Very deep, trying to see if he can do something. Nice angle, gets a caught off on Wago. Really good knock coming in there. There's still more damage to be done, and Phantom has to figure, do we want to go for the rest here or not? Because I'm outside the circle, I have to push around him, and Phantom's just crawling for the info.
Wago will go down, no problem at all, but Phantom now has an idea of exactly where Deep is playing from. Can Deep work his way around, and Phantom actually might end up bypassing, be able to shoot him in behind, as Deep's going to continue to push. Oh no, this could work. Oh dear. He was ready for him though. Phantom, great awareness, understanding of how that was going to play out. The Deep, he caught it, and he was very smart, but it was just too late.
Oh, look at this Shack. That's all that the guys from Inside Games has to work with. There's not a lot of cover, but at least they are inside the circle. At least for now, for a little while longer. Can they stay put? Can they stay alive? Or will that cover be torn into pieces coming into the next circle?
Corp have found that compound though just to the north. It probably will not last the next circle at all for him, but they're in a spot which could try and work out here. Phantom is still up and running, and he's got the high ground at least on top of the hill for now. He will have to push out, but he's completely alone. Both the players of Zokik Nam still alive as well. They somehow got away from that compound, but they're heavily pinned down. They've got Gamer Legion all around them.
Phantom is a solo player remaining, and the issue for him right now is that he has to get down this hill somehow. You can see he has some cover on the edge there, but if this circle goes anywhere east, look at the field. I mean, it's big and it's open, and it's going to be so hard for anyone to make their way down. Right now, though, the only real threat for Zokik down is Phantom. Ival knows where he is. He has to give that info to Vasco, because look at the circle. Phantom, you have to go down this mountain, and it's not going to be an easy run, whether you get Zokik now down or not.
Yeah, little hills and bumps, they're far and few between, right, as this circle will start to close in, and the position of it heavily benefits Gamer Legion. They managed to secure that compound, and they'll be looking to try and hold on to it as long as possible, and look at the drops, look at the crates, look at the positions here. Gamer Legion could, even if they wanted to, try and sneak out. The question is it worth the risk? Risk versus reward is always a thing they have to think about. They do have the numbers advantage, though.
They have the numbers, they have the compound, and they have the time to just sit around and try and figure out where anyone's coming from. We saw Phantom was kind of spotted by Makana and was at least looking up in the direction. It's just two crates. Boop. There you go. For anyone who wants it. And one thing is you get the crates, right? But they technically also cover in very open areas. But now the push comes up from Seaglast. Or Seagull, sorry.
Seek Org making their way around, and this is very smart. They know they had to move sooner rather than later. They weren't just going to wait for it to come back in, and they'll now work their way around. Now, Gamer Legion is very hard for them to deal with in terms of fighting, yet they're still firing out on into it.
M249 is a great weapon coming into late game, but I highly doubt any of these teams were fighting up close or might just stick to those DMRs. Phantom does go down, tried to make the run down the hill. Didn't work out for him. Furex has been spotted indeed, and Gamer Legion now know that they have another team on their doorsteps.
But he's got himself a little hold of hiding. That gives him an opportunity to not be picked off here by Timber, who is open and ready and looking for it. And this is it, GL, they've got a good position. They're looking on all sides, but they know that eventually this pressure is going to be applied. Now, Zokik Nam, they got away with it, and they're working their way around at the same time. And Nade comes out, and Furax, 1 HP in a dream. Is he going to really be able to do this? He gets into the crate. He looks to try and hide himself. The smokes go down around him, and Barlos is also dropping it. Careful of that circle, though, buddy. That damage is going to start to tick away, and it's really going to hurt you. Zokik Nam starting to push into this as well. Zokik Nam manages to get damage done. Timber goes down. Gamer Legion, they can't afford to throw this away. They've got the positional advantage. They've got the compound. And while in the south, all this time, Varzik's still going into it. This is crazy. Phenomenal performance from Zokik Nam, that they're just confident enough to still go for this.
Look at their position. They have the high ground up from where they're sitting, and also have a ridge to sort of keep themselves safe from anyone close. They know that there's a fight going on in the compound, so no one's going to be pushing out up towards them. Have a very good position for now, but as you can see, Circle has shifted away from them. They need to either A, push through the compound, which will be, well, if not chaos and deadly, then something close to it, or go all the way back to where they came from. But as you can see, that's not really an option either. It's far out in the open, and they know for a fact that Phoenix is over on the other side.
Varsku looking to do some further damage from afar. He landing shots like crazy. 4 kills for this team as well. And let's be honest, they were down on 2 players from like 3 circles ago. This was not been an easy ride for them whatsoever.
I'm gonna say if Oscar Lovak and Inside Games don't get at least 2nd place this game, then I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they're just chilling. Like,
He's just sitting all by himself in the shack.
He's like, okay, I don't have to move. No one is going to challenge me just yet. I might bet Bum Rush, but I'll still get away with 1 or 2 kills potentially.
And he'll be warned if anyone comes because they'll be shooting. But now we see Soggy pulling up the vehicle. The Finnish guy's trying to make the move on forward. Vasco swapped that weapon. We've talked about it just before. There you go. Bjorn secures the knock onto Ivel. And now it looks grim for Vasco and Sogdit Nam.
Zogdit did so well to get to this position. They've managed to get themselves in the points. They've got 4 kills. Can they make it any more? The nades are going to go out. Vasquez looking to do some further damage here. Khan's going to struggle to get the reds off. And you said it, Inside Games, to cast the curse. You'll make it happen again, Toby. He was in his shack. He gets pushed and he gets destroyed.
Game of Legion, they had to focus on Sogdit. Now, they knew they were going to push around that side. We talked about how they couldn't push around and through the compound, and that's why they had to focus up. Had they been looking down, they would have been shooting over towards Phoenix, might have prevented them from going down towards Inside Games. But for now, Game of Legion has to hold off Seek Org, and I do not know how these guys back to back can get into a top 4 situation like this.
Phoenix, though, right? They're in a position where they've kind of crept into this. They're taking the long-range shots. They've managed to secure a good spot. And now they have an opportunity to really try and work into this. This could be theirs to win. Oh! I say it, but Vasco, 16 health and a dream. He's still able to get the shots off. He won't be able to get the finish just yet, but he'll be looking for it. He'll be hungry for another kill because all of those points count. The Zodiac are eliminated. Barlos now looking to do some further damage here. Seacorp, they know this is in their sights, but they've got to be very cautious because they can easily be third-partied, and that's exactly what's happened. Seacorp go down in 3rd place. A valiant effort, but it wasn't meant to be. Now with a massive advantage, can Gamer Legion hold on to it? They had the position for so long, but is it going to be enough?
1 versus 2. You have 1 tree Magan, and you've been spotted already. 13, make that 15 HP. Oh, you better make sure not to eat too much food today because you are going to be lining up behind this screen. It's going to be so hard for him to do anything. No smokes available, no nothing. All you can do is hope for a miracle play and for the opponents to miss shots all over. Misses the shots he needs to land. There he goes, spots 1, but down he goes in the end. Saxe secures the win for the Finnish guys in Phoenix, and they had a really good push on and over. Fortunate for them that Gamer Legion weren't doing their way, but in the end a win with 7